Hello, Dee.
Hi, Tanya.
So nice to be camping with you.
I know I slept so much better last night. I really did.
Good.
Got my coffee cup to go, and I'm gonna hit the road tonight.
Those of you that don't know who Dee is, she does content on nomad life and disabilities and spirituality, all kinds of stuff. So you can explain what your channel's about.
Poetry, music.
Yeah, all
I
of it.
do a lot of DIYs, and I do everything myself. So I'm a solo female camper. I'm nomadic because I've been that all my life, and I live in a box van, but I travel in my car mostly. It's getting harder and harder.
Now that you're here car camping, that's different than when you're in your box truck, which is your main home.
Totally, completely.
So yeah, so let's talk
And
about
a car,
that. Yeah.
in my car, I have a lot of seats. It takes up most of the space. So I had to really adapt. I took out the passenger seat, so I have leg room when I'm sleeping in my bed. But it's still pretty tight. Pretty tight.
I wonder how wide it is from door to door where your bed normally is.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not as long as I am.
Okay, so you got to curl up a little bit.
I do, and I found it works, except I have bad neuropathy in my feet. So when I need to stretch my feet out and move them around, it gets kind of complicated.
Especially probably in the middle of the night when you're kind of like sleeping and you're trying to stretch, I'm sure.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, the car's okay. I could do it for a couple nights, but I brought a tent.
So as a weekend warrior, you're good in the car.
Yeah, I brought a tent because I wanted to be able to stretch out. So last night I slept in the tent.
And it was better?
It was much better. I was able to, my neuropathy didn't bother me as much. The burning and throbbing and tingling in my feet and legs was not so bad because I was able to move around better.
You're not against the doors,
right,
and this hard sides. The tent is
exactly
movable.
The tent is a 7 by 10. I mean 7 by 9. So it had a lot more room in there. I moved everything I needed into the tent. However, we had a thunderstorm.
I was going to say, we survived a monsoon yesterday, a huge one. It was really scary being in the van, so I can't imagine being in the tent at the time of the monsoon.
Maxie clung to me. He was shaking. He couldn't handle it. He didn't like it at all. But once the thunder stopped, he was okay. But anyhow, so yeah. So we did okay in the tent. I did notice, although the rain didn't come through the tent, but the moisture did. So everything is damp in there.
Okay.
So I had to really dry it out. I put on my little Mr. Buddy heater and took out a lot of the moisture. My bedding will have to be aired out a little bit.
Well, that's...
but it worked out.
But you weren't cold though, right?
So, So the car is a lot different than a van or an SUV, even a hatchback. Because in a hatchback, you can get back, use the back space, and get into everything back there.
From the front, from the inside.
In the car, the seat blocks the back, and I have the big tire in the back. So I have to get out of the car to get into anything I need to get to the inside. So
if it wasn't for the tent and we were in the rainstorm, you wouldn't be able to get to the back without being soaked.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's not very good,
And so I've worked really well out in the car. I have my composting toilet in the car. Once I took the rod across the top out of there, then I don't bump my head every time.
Okay, well there you go. So that's a little...
That helped a lot. I have plenty of room for my little ice chest and my Blue Eddy and EBL. And then Maxie sleeps on the driver's seat. So that works out, and I don't step on him in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So
that's same as Bella. She has a spot on the passenger seat in our van. That's like her spot.
So for sleeping alone, it's good in the car. If you're camping in a small car, this is not a small car.
I was going to say, or even... You'd have to be pretty short, really. You're not going to be 6 feet tall and be comfortable in there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
no.
so
I mean,
keep that in mind.
I'm almost 5'5".
Yeah.
I barely get in there, and I am cramped, I will say. I can stretch out somewhat, but I'm pretty cramped.
And when I got in there at 5'2", I could stretch out easy.
Right.
So if you're this short and then you'll be fine in there.
So people think it's easy, like the car's not the same as an SUV. It's not the same as a van.
They're all kind of stepping up.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what they are. They're steps. I started out in a car, but in my car, I was able to take out the back seat. So in the car was the little car, Pontiac Grand Am, was a lot easier than this. It's not as easy to adapt this car.
Okay, so this car's different.
So, yeah.
Because it has an electrical system, too, in the
Right.
seats, right? So that's...
Yeah, and my RV park in the box van. But I'm hoping in the near future I can get a trailer that's about 20 feet long. So I have more room to live. And then I can sell
because you won't need a cab. Because it's just going to stay stationary.
Right, it's going to stay there.
Okay.
I won't even take it for travel.
So it's literally just the home base, never moving. It's interesting because I forgot a step in between the cargo trailer. There's that people are in between too, and you did that for a while before you moved up.
Yeah, and the problem with the cargo trailer is you have to pull it with you. Okay, yeah, you can leave it when you go to town in your vehicle. However,
I hope nobody steals it, or
it's hard to find places to camp off grid with the trailer,
or park in parking lots, or
even
anywhere.
RV parks. You have to. I don't spend money. I've camped off grid for 5.5 years.
Yeah.
I never paid for camping, so I always do off grid. It was very hard to pull a trailer into tight spaces. You don't want to get in there and get stuck and not be able to turn around.
And talk about, and backing up is hard on some of those small trailers.
Yeah,
Like
I did okay with the cargo trailer, but I didn't do good with the utility trailer behind the truck.
So, yeah.
So I couldn't back it up.
Because we have the trailer, but only time the trailer is with us is if Derek's driving, because he can back it up and park. But it's it is a hassle. To like park in parking lots, or if you want to go visit a restaurant or downtown somewhere, it's hard to park. It is hard to park.
Even going to the gas station, if you can't get into, some of the gas stations have a really deep dip when you pull into their driveways. And you're gonna drag.
Yeah, and we drag. Unfortunately, you can see the bottom of the wheelchair lift, and it's all dragged because of that same thing. It's always gas stations. That hill. It's like you can go on an angle, and it's just how many inches? Like
you're
6
right,
inches.
and you have 5 inches under the
lift. Yeah. So you can't do
that's
rocks,
hard.
You got to go on sideways.
So I have learned how to do sideways into any driveways, but still sometimes it will still scrape a little bit. You know.
So guys, look who I'm here with. It's Box Fan Dee.
We're having a great meetup.
Yes, we are. We're having a meetup. And I got to tour her nice box fan, and it's amazing. She did such an amazing job. Okay, we are here with Dee, and we are doing a tour of van.
Mom's truck.
Yeah.
Where they have all kinds of communication equipment and stuff in. And a lot of them, they don't have passenger seats.
I think this was in the neighbor, was on the base. That's what it was, like a transporter.
Yeah.
Something for transporting stuff on the base. So let me see if I can get this unlocked. Apparently. So it was in the military. And I did a video about that. Some guy knew all about this vehicle.
Oh, really?
So,
wow.
So there's my garage.
Will you come organize my garage? Nice.
See, I had a friend help me put that air conditioner in there. 30 hours at the most, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
So I had this big cargo box here.
Yep.
The problem was the cargo box, in order to be able to open the doors, I had to have that hitch reversed.
Taken off.
No, reversed, so it could lower the cargo box.
Oh.
So the problem was, because it was low, every time we went through a driveway, everything would drag. Every time. So that was a real problem.
That's going to be a problem with us maybe too in the van. Now that I
Only if
think
I'm
about it.
riding in the back.
So see, here's another problem. This is really loose.
Here we are inside of Box Van D's.
It's still a work in progress. I'm trying to get it fixed up cute, but I have a lot to do. A lot of work to make it cute. Look at the deep
Nice.
sink.
That is amazing.
And look at the strainer down there.
Wow, that's
and it
really
comes
nice.
right out like that. So I don't have to worry about
I love
garbage.
how deep it is. Ours isn't this deep.
Yeah, I love it. So that's for now. And my little sink pan still working for rinsing.
Yeah, that's great.
I put in a magnetic, actually a pan, that works for different things and adds a wall splash so that if I splatter water
You
won't
got a
matter.
pretty nice refrigerator size
Oh,
too.
this is really nice. I'll show you. It's still pretty much empty. But because
it's a nice and big one.
like I say, I'm in travel mode. So that's a huge freezer.
It is. That's a huge freezer.
For a RV.
Yeah.
It's 240 watts. That's the only problem I have to worry about if I'm gonna
Holds
use,
a lot.
if I'm gonna have enough power to run it all the time. I built
Okay.
this medicine cabinet
Oh, that's nice.
and just put a little trim things to
Yeah,
catch
that's
stuff.
nice.
So
The cabinets are really
yeah,
nice.
do that.
But look,
So-
it's a nice little twin bed and everything.
Yeah, it's actually only 28 inches
Inches.
wide, but that's plenty for me.
Yeah.
Plenty for one person. So see all the shelves down there?
But this is super
storage.
roomy.
Yeah, and this here is it really slide easy. I just put the furniture sliders
that
on the
works.
bottoms. So that holds a lot of stuff.
That's a great tip.
And then this here, same thing on the toilet. Look how easy
Oh,
it slides
wow.
out. And the same thing on my compost bin. It's on sliders. So it pulls out really easy. I do need to put
That
a little
came
handle
out
on
so
that.
easy.
So it really is easy. And
Well, that's what I'm gonna do
so
too.
this here is just turning.
Super
So that
good.
is really making it really easy for the toilet and the pots and pans. Because you don't want it to stick on the rug and slide
Yeah,
hard.
that's exactly
Don't want to
what the
have to
problem
deal
is.
with the weight.
That's amazing for a.
And
Look at that.
I built that shelf to put the fridge on.
Yeah.
And then it won't go anywhere. This is blocking it. So I have a propane hose to this heater, and I have a separate hose to the stove. The reason I did that was if one runs out of propane, if I have them both connected together, only nothing will work, okay? So I connect them separately. If one runs out, I can heat the truck even
That's
if the other one runs out for a little while till I go get more propane.
Super
So that's
smart.
why I did that. Kept them on separate. I do have a bin. Oh my gosh, where's my box van? Somebody took my house. It's my temporary spot. I'm a mess. I thought we'd share a little bit about my new home base. I'm going to take you for a tour around the outside of it. Later on, I'll do a full tour of the inside. But today, I just want to share a little bit to pique your interest and show you what a wonderful home I have. Rockwood. Signature Ultra Light Series. This is the door side, which is you're looking at the back end of it. Here, Max. It was a very tight squeeze. Let me show you how it's parked. So this is the back. A ladder, I have access to the top. We barely squeezed it in here. Let me go over here. Here's a slide. We have 1 inch between my neighbor's shed and the slide. This is the front, actually, of the trailer. So it's pretty tight. I don't know how they ever got it in here. So there's my water system and the black tank hook up under there. This is the bedroom up here. A nice window. I have windows all the way around. I had this wooden step for the box van, and it works out perfect for the trailer. You can see out here I have a little table and a propane barbecue. And I'm keeping the box van, at least for a year. I'm going to clean it out, paint the inside, and then organize it for camping. Whenever I want to go off-grid, I can take this because it's completely self-contained. I can't drive more than 200 or 300 miles at the most because it's too hard on me physically and also with my eyes. But I have a home base now. I had the home base, just not the trailer, for over a year. And then every time I want to go out, I can take the box van. Then I can still be nomadic somewhat.
Wow, what a story. I still can't believe how far Dee has come throughout the years. If you like this video, please subscribe to Dee's channel as well. And see you next video. Thanks for watching.